You know those meetings, right? The ones where you're biting your tongue, holding back what you really think, and just nodding along? We choose that fake harmony over an honest debate. But what if I told you that very politeness is actually a silent killer? That it's slowly choking the life out of your team? Well, today we're diving into the final, and I think most transformative, chapter of Kim Scott's Radical Candor. We're going to learn how to build an entire culture where honesty and empathy aren't just buzzwords, but are the actual foundation of how you succeed.
And let's just kick things off with this quote from Kim Scott, because wow, it is powerful. It is a huge wake-up call for any leader, really anyone who prioritizes being polite over making progress. That whole go along to get along vibe, it's not just harmless, it's actually a toxic force that crushes innovation, eats away at trust, and pretty much guarantees mediocrity. So just take a second. I want you to really think about your own team. When a tough topic comes up, what actually happens? Is there a real, respectful debate? Or does everyone just kind of nod and stay quiet? The answer to that question, well, it tells you everything you need to know about your culture.
Okay, so before we can build this amazing culture of candor, we have to get real about the things that are secretly working against it. These are the silent killers. They often disguise themselves as kindness, but what they're really doing is destroying psychological safety and torpedoing your team's performance. So let's pull back the curtain and see them for what they are.
Now this slide right here is absolute gold for anyone who's ever felt like they're walking on eggshells at work. Let's break down these toxic traps. First up, you've got ruinous empathy. This is when you care so much about not hurting someone's feelings that you just don't give them the feedback they desperately need to improve. It's the bless your heart of the corporate world. Then, there's manipulative insincerity. You know, the gossip, the fake smiles, the saying everything's fine when it is clearly not. And finally, obnoxious aggression. This is that so-called brutal honesty that just leaves a trail of bruised egos in its wake. The bottom line? All three of these are total dead ends.
So, if those are the traps we need to avoid, what's the alternative? I mean, what does a healthy, high-performing culture actually look and feel like? Let's dive into the powerful alternative, a radically candid culture. And this right here, this is our North Star. A radically candid culture is where care personally and challenge directly isn't just a cool mantra, it's the air everyone breathes. It's about being both kind and clear. It's not a choice between one or the other. And this isn't just for managers, by the way. This is for everyone, at every single level of the company.
And when you get this right, oh man, the results are a total game changer. Feedback becomes a gift, not some kind of weapon. Problems get spotted and solved before they blow up into full-blown crises. Innovation just flourishes because people aren't afraid to challenge the status quo. And your team? It becomes this cohesive, fearless unit that's ready to take on anything.
Now this all sounds great in theory, right? But the real question is, how do you actually make it happen? Well, it's not magic, it's a system. And luckily, Kim Scott gives us a really clear, actionable blueprint for building this culture from the ground up. So let's get into it.
Here they are, the 4 pillars of a radically candid culture. It all has to start with leadership modeling the way. Then you've got to train your team in the art of these conversations, give them a shared language. After that, you bake candor right into your systems so it just becomes a habit. And finally, you shift the whole culture to celebrate learning and growth, not just winning. We're going to zoom in on a couple of the most important steps right now.
All right, step 1. And let me tell you, this is absolutely non-negotiable. Culture change starts at the top. As a leader, you have to go first. You have to ask for criticism before you even think about giving it. You have to own your mistakes out loud in public with no excuses. Your vulnerability is what creates that ripple effect of psychological safety for everyone else.
Next, you have to move candor from being a nice-to-have to a must-have. You gotta bake it right into the DNA of your organization. Add a candor checkpoint to the end of every meeting. Start using 360-degree reviews so that feedback is flowing in every direction, not just from the top down. The goal is to make honesty a habit, not an afterthought.
You know, at first building a candid culture is going to feel like pushing a giant boulder uphill. It takes a ton of effort, a lot of intention. But over time, something really incredible starts to happen. You create a self-sustaining candor flywheel that starts to generate its own momentum.
Just look at how this works. It all starts with you, the leader, modeling candor. Then your team sees that it's safe, and they start to practice it themselves. As they do that, trust gets deeper across the entire team.
And with more trust, the quality of the feedback gets so much better and more honest. Better feedback, of course, leads directly to better performance. And when people see that growth, well, more of them adopt the behavior, and that just strengthens the whole cycle. It builds this unstoppable momentum.
And this quote just nails it, doesn't it? It's such a powerful reminder that you can't just send out a memo and declare a culture of candor. You have to live it, you have to breathe it, and embody it in every single interaction. Culture is the sum of your daily actions, not some directive from HR.
So where do you start? I mean, this feels big, right? But you don't have to overhaul your entire culture overnight. The journey to real candor begins with a single step, a small, what we call cultural nudge that can have a huge impact. Let's look at a few simple examples.
Here are 3 super simple things you can literally try this week. At the start of your next team meeting, just ask, does anyone have any feedback for me before we kick things off? Simple. Or add a 5-minute candor moment to your regular meetings. But my favorite is the last one. When someone gives you tough, honest feedback, thank them for it publicly. This is how you reward the exact behavior you want to see more of.
And let's be really clear about something. A radically candid culture is not some conflict-free utopia. It's a fear-free zone. It's a place where healthy debate isn't just tolerated, it's actively encouraged. It's where ideas get challenged, not people. And it's where the truth gets spoken, even when it's a little uncomfortable.
And that brings us to our final question for you. Don't think about a total revolution. That's overwhelming. Just think about a small improvement. What is one tiny change you could make this week that would make your workplace just 10% more candid, a little more honest, and a whole lot more fearless?